It says we're live. So let me make a couple adjustments. We're going to get right started. We're going to not right, so we're going to get right started. We're also going to get started right away. So let me double check this. I know a lot of these are watched afterwards, so I know this is like a real buzzkill to have to arrange and set things up and wait. We want to try to give it a few moments to see if there we go. And you can see the screen. It looks like 10:59. Oh my, look at the time. We don't have much time, so we're going to get started right away. We've got a lot to go over. It's funny how we say, I don't have much time, because we don't have any time. We can't possess time. People are saying it all the time, like, I don't have any time for that. I can't give you any time. I've got a little bit of time later. I can give you some time later. We can't give away time. We can't possess time. All we can do is experience time. So this is not going to be an exploration into the quantum physics of the dimension of time, although that is a fascinating subject that I spent a lot of time with the 11 dimensions of string theory, etc. A physicist hobbyist. So, and I was going to, every time we say time, I was going to have a little fun with that, but I think it's going to be a little bit too much since this is all about time. We're going to explore some things. Hello, good morning. That's what time it is. What time is it? Well, it's now. It's always now. It can never be anything else. So we're going to have some fun. And so one of the things that I had this whole presentation already kind of set and ready to go. We've got a lot to go over, so we're not going to have much time to give to every subject. We don't possess time. We just borrow it and we just experience it. We can't own it. We can't give it away. We can't take it from anybody else. Time is not something we can possess whatsoever. We're going to learn a lot about it. And one of the things that crossed my mind last night as I was thinking about this presentation, I kind of added this thing this morning when I got up, is that life is so much like a Groundhog Day. Eternity is a long time, especially when life sucks. When life is great, time flies, as they say. And when it's dragging and shitty, well, then life is long. We like it when time is short because it makes life more dynamic. So imagine if the Groundhog Day scenario, if every day, as Bill Murray did in the movie, wake up and experience the same things again and again and again. Imagine if every day you're at the back of the line of the DMV. Because in many ways, as a spiritualist, that's how I experience life. I've had a very dynamic life. I'm 54. I've had a very dynamic life. I've traveled the world. I've had profound experiences, supernatural throughout my life, an ongoing string of pearls and crown of thorns through the supernatural events that have taken place throughout my life. And it's never ended. And it's a blessing and a curse. The blessing is it has made my life rich and profound, filled with meaning that are just mystical and profound and undeniably mind-bending. And the curse part is that once you have sex, kissing is okay, but it ain't really like the thing. And so when you have these profound experiences, it makes everyday life rather boring. Now, I know we want to live in the now and want to be able to appreciate every moment that we're in, for sure. But again, the Groundhog Day scenario, if every day you woke up, if every lifetime you reincarnated, you're in the back of the DMV line, well, then you can't enjoy that now. You can't be in that now. All you wanted to do is be over. We have this amazing ability as sentient human beings that animals don't have. Animals run on instincts. We run on thought. The amazing ability that we have is to live in the present, learn from the past, and contemplate and anticipate the future. We're time travelers, every one of us. So what we're doing today is we're not only going to explore some of these spiritual concepts and mystical concepts of time, but also because for 11 years in a row, I've always done the Change Your Mind, Change Your Life resolution revolution. And I wasn't going to do it this year at all. The clinical work or behavioral work, my private practice work, is mostly retired. But it's a tradition. And holidays are all about traditions, aren't they? That garbage you eat, the stuff you get, the stuff you do. I mean, stuff that doesn't even make any sense because it's tradition. What we always do. We do it every year. So I kind of last minute, a couple days ago, added to the slideshow the New Year's Resolution Revolution presentation. So we got a lot to cover in a short amount of, what do you say? Time. Short amount of time. We don't have much time. We don't have anything. We can't possess time. Am I getting redundant? Okay. So let's begin with some of the mystical concepts of time first. Now, I don't anticipate anyone tuning in over the holidays. I can see one, which usually that means there's maybe 4 or 5, and it's also broadcast on Facebook, etc. So I don't know who's here or what. I typically would do Resolution Revolution around January 15th, second weekend of January, when everybody's resolutions is failing and they want to know why. And Resolution Revolution solves it. I'm going to teach you all that. But the bottom line is we've all got holiday-itis. Nobody can function. They're simply focused on the food and the presents and the gifts and the returns, and Boxing Day where you box things, and I'm talking about boxing for presents. And so I never did anything pretty much in the whole month of December. But since most of these are viewed after they're live streamed, I thought, why not? I want to do it anyway. So let's get ready for some other things coming up after 2021 begins. So again, we've got eternity is a really long time if you wake up every lifetime at the back of the DMV line. Let's keep going. Time. Kal in Sanskrit. We have 4 of those. Time is eternal and existence is an eternal condition. Existence is an eternal condition. It's not something you choose. It's something that is. It always has been and always will be. It changes from time to time and from mode to mode. It's always changing and always in motion. But existence itself is an eternal condition. There are 4 yugas, as we call them in Sanskrit. Again, Kal is time and Yug is age. So there are 4 of them: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. We are in Kali Yuga. We are 5,000 years into Kali Yuga. Kali is the age of materialism and ignorance. So we look at the first one, Satya Yuga. Satya Yuga is the age of spirituality and virtual enlightenment. Everyone on the planet at that time is running on like 85-90% of their brain power instead of the 10 or so percent we have now. They're functioning at high levels. They're very spiritual. They're very moral. They're very ethical. All that kind of stuff. And it's a very long period of time. That slowly shifts, as seasons do, to Treta Yuga. Treta Yuga is when our brain power goes down a little bit and our spirituality also wanes a little bit. The population, the culture of the planet, like the seasons, summer, winter, spring, summer, fall, etc. So think of these yugas, these ages, kind of like the seasons of existence. They evolve and they change. And it's not that one is necessarily better or worse than the other. Well, they actually absolutely are. There's no doubt that Kali Yuga is the worst. As positive and as optimistic as we all try to be about the spirituality and evolution of humankind, the reality is Kali Yuga is when it's in its deteriorating state. And we're in that. We're 5,000 years into Kali Yuga. I'm not going to tell you how long it is. It's really long. And I'm not going to tell you how bad it gets because it'll keep you up at night. If you ever want to get a sense of it, the best thing I've ever saw was there's a movie called The Road with Viggo Mortensen. And it is an apocalyptic kind of thing. And I'm watching this and I'm like, I can't watch this. This is so dark and so dark. And I'm like, this is a fraction of what Kali Yuga actually gets to be, is that movie. So Satya Yuga is the age of piety and spirituality, that everyone is in a spiritual consciousness and they're all living well and doing well. They're all extremely intelligent and lifespan is very, very long. I think it's something like thousands of years. Treta Yuga, it's a little bit less. Dwapar Yuga is a little bit less. And so what we see as these ages evolve and shift is that we devolve. Here's the good news. Well, actually, I got something coming up here. So the downside is in Kali Yuga, low intellect, less spiritual, more materialism and selfishness. That is the hallmark of Kali Yuga that we're in. The upside is Dharma, BOGO sale, buy one, get one free. So because Kali Yuga is such a deteriorated state of culture and intelligence and spirituality, that basically you get bonus points for every ounce of spirituality and intellect that you prize and you value. Well, then you get like a pound of results for it. You get special. It's kind of like the spiritual government is grading us on a curve, because everyone is so deteriorated and evolved that when anyone does rise above and makes these the focus of their life, well, then they get extra bonus points. So the downside is low intellect, less spiritual, more materialism and selfishness. But the upside is that many souls want and look forward to incarnating during Kali Yuga, because it's the easiest way to become enlightened and spiritually realized in your lifetime, because the standards are way, way low. In such a yuga, it's almost impossible, because everyone's so spiritual and everybody's so pious and everything is so good in the planet that the grading curve is very, very high and very steep. The standard is really high for you to become spiritually enlightened. And I mean, boom, enlightened, the whole thing. So the upside to Kali Yuga is that you're basically, for every good thing you do and think, you're getting almost credit for two. Buy one, get one free. No jnana ritual needed. See, during Satya Yuga and Treta Yuga and Dwapar Yuga, to become spiritually enlightened, to become one with the God power, you have to really know and have gone the knowledge and be able to practice it. And there's a lot of rituals and ceremonies, and everyone has to be done exactly perfect, precise. And I mean, to the resource you get, the money or so to perform them, to the materials you use, to the intonations of the words that you say during a ceremony. I mean, any mistake you make, it not only makes it neutral, but can actually harm you. So, and it's very complicated to be able to train and be able to do these things during the other ages. So Kali Yuga, those things aren't necessary at all. You can't do them. The knowledge isn't there to do them. So in this age, it's simply a much easier process to become spiritually aligned, and it's simply about love and devotion. So the downside of that, again, is that we're more materialistic, far more selfish. So we don't have as much access to that natural state of being loving and devoted towards the Godhead or towards each other. We're all operating on a me scale. But for every ounce of doing that, we get a pound of credit for it, you could say. So basically, again, it's graded on a curve during Kali Yuga, karma and spirituality. Everything that you do is graded on a curve, because now you understand what grading on a curve is, that of course the teacher at the class will grade the class and each individual based on the level of the class itself. Well, during Kali Yuga, the level is really low, the standards are really low. So God's grading us on a curve. Spiritual government is grading us on a curve for our karmas, our actions, and our spirituality. The things that we devote to, the things we apply our consciousness to love and devote and be committed and serve the God power. So, again, we're going to be moving at a very fast speed because we don't have much time. We don't have any time. Did I say this before? Yeah, we don't have much time, because I don't have time I can give you. I don't have time. You don't have time you can give me. We don't own any time. We can't possess it. It's always moving forward. So let's get into understanding what the Vedas say about this. Why do we always turn to the Vedas? Because that's the source. If we want to understand karma or sanskars or kal, time, then we go to the Vedas, because even though they're ancient, they're timeless, they're completely accurate, and they don't change because they don't need to change. So what they tell us is that kal, time, the Vedas describe in detail the quantum process of the universe. And we're talking thousands of years ago. when the Vedas describe the manifestation of Maya, the material phenomena, it is not just eerily similar, it is dead on. We're talking about atoms, subparticles, subatomic particles, splitting, canceling each other out, all the things that physicists are learning today, the Vedas described in detail thousands of years ago. It's not just some allegorical, metaphorical, flowery coincidence. It's extremely precise and very easy to understand. Well, I don't know about easy, but it's understandable and it's very scientific. In many ways, in Western religion, the creation of the 7 days, it does a similar kind of thing. That there be light, God manifested the earth and the sky, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It goes through a process. The difference is the Vedas break it all down. And it goes way, way before the manifestation of this planet. It goes way, way back to before the Big Bang and describes again in detail how this happens. Kal, time, initiates the manifestation of Maya, the material phenomena, and the karmas of the Jiva Shakti, and that is the soul power. The Jiva Shakti, Shakti means power, and Ji means soul. So the Jiva Shakti is the collection of all the karmas of all the souls for this planet. So Kal is the force that kind of pushes it all in motion. The domino that starts the whole thing off. Kal is the energy that begins manifestation. And it does this with the karmas of the Jiva Shakti. The Jiva Shakti is the collective souls, each and every individual combining. So when we put a whole bunch of people in a room, well, everybody has an individual consciousness and intellect. But again, we can categorize or we can evaluate what the overall feeling or theme of it is with a group of people. Clearly, for example, a classroom full of first graders is a very different intellectual level and awareness level than a class full of college students. So in a similar way, the Jiva Shakti is when all the souls are in a dormant state during Pralaya, which is the dissolution phase, when they're activated to incarnate and take life and the world manifests, then it's done so with Kal, which is intricately tied in with the karmas of all the souls. So the flavor, you could say, there you go, I said that down there. The collective karmas of the souls determine the flavor of the world. So basically, each Brahmand, solar system, Earth planet, which there are an infinite amount of, so far away that won't bother trying to get there. But again, each classroom full of students, every group of people that you have at a meeting or at a party or even here and now has a certain frequency that creates an ambiance, creates an environment. You put a whole lot of intellectual people in a room, then you have a very intellectual environment. So that's just an example. So the collective karmas of the souls determine the flavor of the manifestation of our world, which is different than any others. There may be similarities, but what creates the temperance, what creates the overall general attitude of the planet itself is the collective karmas of all the souls. And time is always in motion, forward, never back. Again, we're not going to get into the quantum physics today. I know, although I love that subject, I'm more than a hobbyist. I mean, I've traveled to CERN in Switzerland and spent time there talking to physicists. Fascinating. So another time. Oh, another what? What did I say? Another time. So the Brahma Sutra. So where does the soul come into the equation? We talk about time, but where does the soul come into this? The Brahma Sutra says the soul is infinitesimally small, residing in the heart region, not the mind, and animates and illuminates the body like a candle flame in one spot and lightens a whole room. So you have this infinitesimal, tiny essence that we call soul, or in Sanskrit, Jiv, the Jiva. And this little tiny, When I say tiny, infinitesimally small. If you take a hair and you split it 1,000 times, and take one of those pieces and you split another 1,000 times, and keep doing it 7 or 8 times, now you're getting down to where you might be close to the size of the soul. But it packs a lot of power. So this little tiny essence of what we are resides here in the heart region, and it illuminates and animates the entire physical body. Our mind, our body, the soul power is what animates that. So where does the soul come into the equation? It coming in right here because it illuminates us. So I'm giving you different quotes from different parts of the Vedas. The Brahma Sutra says that like a candle flame in one spot, it lights a whole room. Now we're in the Upanishads. The Upanishads, the soul is self-enlightened. Only the mind and body are material and ignorant. That's a shocking revelation. That means that your soul is already perfect, already enlightened. Now your soul and your mind are separate from each other. So the reason we don't experience the enlightenment of our soul is because we can't view it, we can't experience it, even though it's right here. And so everything about mysticism and spirituality is truly about connecting to that soul power. What the Buddha and many mystics, basically the process, what yoga is teaching, Ashtanga yoga, meditation and yoga asanas, etc., is teaching us is a system and a process by which we can view and experience the soul. We can remove the layers of our personality, of our egos, of our mind, of our lifetimes of karmas, remove all that away, pull the veils away so we can view the actual soul. Let me close that window blinds. I didn't realize that there was a glare on the screen. Excuse me. And listen, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Something's going to knock over, I bet. Oh, let me see. Let's see if that's a little bit better. A little bit. There we go. Now it's only on a little tiny ribbon. So the soul is self-enlightened. It never has been under the veil or ignorance of the material phenomena and never can be. It is perfect. It is a fraction, ansh, as they say in Sanskrit, ansh of God himself. God is the Mahajiva, the great Jiva, the ultimate soul. We are Ansh Jiva. Ansh is a fraction or piece of. So because we are a fraction of that, we are self-enlightened. Our soul is. So our mind and body are material and ignorant, but the soul is self-enlightened. So try to realize daily, if you can, that there's a fraction of you that is perfect, absolutely perfect. It's only a fraction because we're deeply flawed. But there's a fraction of you that is unblemished and always has been perfect and always will be and can never be tarnished. No matter what we do or don't do, no matter how much ignorance we wallow in, no matter how many mistakes we make, our soul remains in a perfect condition. The Bhagavad Gita. Oh, I love this. As Krishna, during the Gita, says to Arjuna, he's speaking about the souls. I am their ultimate goal. Krishna being the supreme divine love form of God. I am their ultimate goal. Until they come to me in my abode, they cannot relax and cannot be settled. This speaks volumes to me. I'm a restless personality. I've been restless since I was born. None of us are in a true state of peace. It can happen momentarily, episodically, briefly, but we can't sustain it. We can't stay there. And this is because, as we already went to about the different calls, different ages, because we are an ansh of the God power. And until we can unite and become one in complete entirety with the God power, they will never be satisfied. We'll always be discontent. So we're perpetually in this state of discontent. And I am their ultimate goal. to become one with God until they come to me and my abode, the divine dimension. They cannot relax and cannot be settled. I began this kind of joking around about the Groundhog Day scenario, being born and having your Groundhog Day every day at the back of the DMV line. Boy, you would not be able to relax or be settled. You'd be pissed off from the moment you incarnated. Every time you woke up in your life, you were every morning you woke up, you were in the back of the DMV line. I didn't even know why you were there, but you had to wait in line. So I've always felt, since I was very young, that my restlessness is a virtue, not a vice. I don't want to be peaceful and content. I don't want to be, not as a human being, because the moment I'm content for any long period of time, well, then I cease to do and pursue. I like contentedness and peace from time to time, but necessity is the mother of invention, and desire is the source of action. I don't want to be dormant. I don't want to be lazy. I don't want to do nothing. I'm glad that I'm aware of my discontent. I'm glad I'm aware that I am restless and unsettled, that I cannot relax, because that restlessness makes me aware all the time that there's something I'm missing and something that I want, and that is the God power. I want to be one with the God power. I won't settle for anything less, and no one should. It is God's grace that he grants us this restlessness, and then he follows up that grace with the opportunity, when we truly desire it, to start to learn why and how to solve it. And this is where time has such a factor for us. To use our time. So the Gita, the Bhagavatam, which is the prime scripture of Sanatana Dharma, talked about the 5 consequences of the body. And this all directly relates into time. 1, birth. 2, growth. 3, deterioration. 4, old age. 5, death. Repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. Death ain't no ending. Most of us are spiritual mystics. We don't believe in reincarnation. We get it. We understand it. We accept that that is part of reality. So we're in this cycle, this ongoing, perpetuating cycle of these 5 conditions, and it just repeats. So I've given you these quotes because I want you to know that I'm not just making stuff up and giving my own opinions. I've often pointed out in my presentations that so much of what we gain insight into when it comes to mystical and spiritual things is incorrect, because the teachers and people that are presenting it, they can't back it up. They're making it up as they go along. I am committed to always access and provide authentic, authenticated, verified knowledge. So what makes a qualified teacher? Right knowledge and practical experience. The right knowledge is, again, to go to the source. If you had to bake a cake, do you want to learn from an instructor that's never made a cake or even eaten a cake, that just knows in theory? Not so much. Or would you rather your teacher be experienced as a baking, cake baking teacher who's made many cakes? And let's go on up better, more from there. How about a teacher that has studied baking cakes, the theoretical knowledge, the right knowledge, and also has made a lot of cakes and eaten them too, and knows the difference? So what makes a qualified teacher in any realm of knowledge that you want is the right knowledge combined with practical experience. And eventually, I want to go beyond the teacher, and I want to go to the cake itself. I want to become one and you be unionized with the cake itself. Now I can really know how to make it, because I'm joining my soul with the cake. So it's important that we gain our insights to the things that we're trying to unravel the God power has provided us with this knowledge and access to it. And when we're ready, it comes. How do we get ready? Want it. Desire it with all your heart. Just want it so bad, because when you want it, it evokes your will. And your will is a force that extends from your soul and from your body. And that's what gets God's attention. And that activates his grace. And for me, again, this is some pictures of me. I'm at a temple in India. I'm at Stonehenge, kind of sharing that I have the practical experience. I didn't just do these things in concept and in theory. I've been there. I've done that. I practice all the things that I teach and share. And of course, these other images are of my guru, because I was graced and blessed with the association of an enlightened master. I'm not just talking about somebody that's smart. And they're always here. And they always come around. And we access them by, again, truly wanting them. When we beckon them with our heart, truly with our soul power, they can't deny us. They said there's nothing that God can't do. Oh, yes, there is. There's two things he can't do. Number one, he cannot not love you. God cannot not love you. And secondly is, God cannot refuse to hear your cries of anguish, to intervene and help you. So now we've gone a little bit over call. We got quite a bit to go over because we don't have a whole lot of time. I can't give you any more time than I have because I don't really have any time. You don't have any time unless if you got some in your pocket. Hey, let me have some time. We'll kind of figure this thing out a little bit more slow. So we're going to shift gears a little bit from the spiritual to the worldly, a gear shift. So I mentioned that this would be the 12th annual of the Resolution Revolution, where for 11 years in a row, this being the 12th, I have always given my New Year's Resolution Revolution workshop, teaching people how to manifest and change behaviors and solve habits and addictions and all kinds of things. And it's successful and it works. And again, it's not about what I always like to present is tools and concepts that everyone can use. It's not that one thing works for everybody. There is no one size fits all, any change or improvement for ourselves. But what I'm always presenting is all the different options in ways that you are now empowered to be able to put them together in the way that you see fit. And again, in a similar way with my spiritual path. Sure, one mode or method to become spiritually enlightened within my spiritual path is, meditation, bhakti meditation, and kirtan. There's also remembrance, silence, and there's also seva. Seva means service. Personally, I like to get out and do things. I'm not always that great at sitting in a meditation room, being quiet and being calm and mellow and peaceful. When I am, I love it. But I'm not doing anything wrong if I'm restless, to get up and get busy and serve my mission, my ashram, my guru in any way, whether it's washing his car, sweeping a floor, making some food, donating to charity, whatever it may be. So there's all kinds of different ways. And my enlightened teacher and master have given me all these different options so that I can choose the ones that I can be good at. Because if he said to me, well, Krishnanand, the only way that you can attain me and attain the Godhead personality is to meditate silently, blank your mind and make it zero, and then focus on the white light. I'd be like, oh, I'm screwed because I can't do that. I'm way too restless. And I didn't ask to be that way. I've been that way since I was born. It's multiple lifetimes. Some people are very mellow. Some people aren't. They can't be ramped up and hyper like me, and I can't be mellow like they are. We've got to be true to ourselves. So as we get into the more practical side or behavioral things, more worldly things, we shift gears from spiritual to worldly. I'm going to be giving you tools that you can use and apply in everyday life to change your behavior, to change your mind and change your life. But first, a little promotion, a little advertising. It's very important, if you can, during or after this, to like my channel, visit the website, get your free spiritual triangle reading. Free, not kind of, not sort of, not enter your credit card or subscribe. Free, get it free. I give away free readings. And look, these are custom made. I don't have some generic algorithm that I type in your information and poof, it brings it up. I spend hours doing these free ones for people. It takes me anywhere from an hour to 3 hours to do just one. And I never know until I start doing it. So I encourage you to take advantage of that. The life purpose reading is for you personally. It's customized just to you based on your birth date. I encourage you to take advantage of that. It won't be there forever because it does take a long time to do it. But if you like my channel and you get something out of these videos, if you like that, then it helps overall for me to be able to sustain these things. Eventually, the time and the effort costs money. And time is money, they say. Money is time. Do we say that? No, we don't say that. But so support is always encouraged, and I'm guilty of that. I watch a lot of videos and do a lot of things and don't always thumbs up or click yes or whatever it may be. And even though I recognize and realize that my reviews on Amazon are as valuable as anybody else's, when I'm not sure about a product that I'm going to buy, I love having the reviews there. I mean, some of them are crap, but sometimes the reviews are like, it depends on how they're formed. And I'm like, that sells me what the way they've said it. So I want to encourage you to please like the channel, visit my website. The traffic goes a long way. And from where you come from, when you come from YouTube or whatever it may be, get your free spiritual triangle reading. There's all kinds of offers on my website to give free readings. I encourage you to take advantage of that. It's literally free, not kind of, not sort of, not enter your credit card to subscribe later. Nope, it's free. Get it? Free. So let's get into some of the other work. What qualifies me to lecture and present on behavioral changes and improving yourself? 15 years private practice, individual private counseling. I had a lot of offers to join institutions, facilities. I rejected every one of them along the way. I mean, I thought about it because there was good money involved, but I knew that the only true way to serve people was to design custom formulas for them to be able to make the changes that they wanted to make. One size doesn't fit all for any behavior change. We're all different. Self-improvement to severe disorders. I work the entire spectrum. I've helped people lose weight, get fit, raise their kids, solve their marriage problems. And of course, I'm an addiction master worldwide. I've had clients all around the country, all around the world. And there it says clients in 5 countries and 30 states. I've been doing this a long time, and I've innovated my own methods and styles. And it's not just that I created them. I like to look at it as the methods and styles that I'm teaching you today with the New Year's Resolution Revolution. It's not just me. Every client I worked with and served over the years, for almost 20 years, helped create these because we saw what worked and what didn't. We modified and customized them and made them better and better and better until I found solutions that absolutely work. And again, it's different for everybody. So how can I teach you some formula that's going to work for you? Because I'm going to teach you how to take a set of dynamics, a collection of them, a small number of them, and be able to put them together like Tinker Toys to suit you, your age, your gender, your goal, your weaknesses and your strengths. It's not enough to think about our strengths. We got to think about our weaknesses. What are we bad at? We got to compensate for that. So the 2021 resolution revolution, Life Mind is my practice. Change your mind, change your life. So we're going to get away from the spiritual for a little bit and go in and have some fun with this. The theory of the mind. If change were as simple as making up our minds, we'd all be perfect, wouldn't we? We know exactly what we want. We know pretty much how to do it. Oh, I want to be thin and fit. Okay, so we know to eat better, eat less, work out, start running, walking, whatever it may be. We know that. So if change were as simple as making up our minds, we'd all be perfect. We know what to do. We're not stupid, are we? So we do know what to do. If it were as simple as making up our minds, we'd all be perfect. But there's some caveats to that. We are 12% conscious mind and 88% subconscious mind. 12% is all there is of our conscious thinking and mind. I like this, I don't like that, I want to do this, I want to do that. 88% of what we are is influence coming from our subconscious mind. What does subconscious mind mean? That which is partially known. Unconscious unknown. I had a debate with some guy a little while ago. He was trying to attack me and challenge me in some kind of debate about the unconscious, the collective unconscious. And I was like, dude, unconscious means unconscious, unaware. There's no such thing. Whatever it is, you can't know it. So we're not talking about unconscious. Unconscious is what you don't know and can't know. We're talking about the subconscious that we can access. So 12% of our likes, dislikes, actions, decisions, and thought process is 12% of that is conscious. 88% of it is subconscious. Let me give you an example. Think of your favorite pair of shoes. Think of what happened when you bought them and you saw them and you tried them on. You saw them in a store full of shoes and you wanted those. And you tried them on. And if they fit and they were comfortable, then you bought them. Now, why do you like those shoes and somebody at the next aisle likes these other shoes that you think are horribly ugly? Why do they like those and you like these? Your conscious mind says, well, just because I do. They look good. But why do you like something that's maybe loud and attractive versus somebody else that likes something that's very subtle, or vice versa? Only 12% of that decision is coming from your conscious mind. 88% of it is influenced by your subconscious, which is comprised of who you were, who you think you are, how you perceive yourself and the world around you, and how you think others perceive you. There's all these different factors. And ultimately, it's what we're trying to achieve. So the person that buys those shoes that wants something that is very noticeable, well, then they want that attention. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. We always think, oh, getting attention like some kind of a bad thing. No, let's just call it for what it is. It's an objective truth. So, and someone like me, my tendency is to buy clothing and things for my appearance that kind of blend in. I don't want to get a lot of attention for what I'm wearing so much as I want to get attention for what I'm thinking, what I'm saying. But I know that if I don't look good, then what I'm thinking and saying will be distracted by how bad I look. So you see, consciously, I have a whole lot of understanding of to why I make decisions. But there's all these subconscious motivations of what it is I'm ultimately trying to achieve. I want to be recognized and validated for who I am, here and here, not the way I look. Some people want to be validated and acknowledged for how they look. That makes them feel valuable. That's not shallow or superficial at all. It's neither one. Both are equal to each other. We just have a different way of packaging and presenting it. So 12% of your decision making is your conscious mind and 88% is your subconscious mind. So then what goes wrong? Why can't we just make up our minds to do something, to get fit, to get better, to make more money, to be more spiritual, whatever it may be? Why can't we just make up our minds and do it? We know what to do. Well, I want to be more spiritual. Okay, that's great. Okay, so go to church more, meditate more, read more, study more, look into it more, live that life. Say no to vices. Say yes to virtues. We're intelligent. We understand that. But there's a process where that breaks down. And the first thing is when we're trying to make change in our lives is we take on too much and too many things at once. I'm going to lose weight, get fit, work out. I'm going to become spiritual. I'm going to study and get straight A's. I'm going to make more money. I mean, we do all this is the problem in New Year's resolutions is we have this long laundry list of things that we want to change, and we're going to do it all right now. We take on too much and too many things at once. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to make more money. I'm going to stop sleeping in. I'm going to quit smoking pot, quit drinking, whatever it may be. And then there's too many things at once and then too much. Not I'm going to lose some weight, but I'm going to lose 20 pounds a day. I'm going to stop eating junk food tomorrow at 12:01 on New Year's Eve. On New Year's Day, I'm going to stop eating all junk food. Good luck. You're going too fast, too much too fast, too much and too many things at once. So the second thing that goes wrong is we make unrealistic goals and expectations. Not just I'm going to lose weight, not just I'm going to quit smoking, not just that I'm going to quit drink, I'm going to stop it all right now. Unrealistic goals and expectations. We go from I'm going to get fit to as of tomorrow, I'm going to start running 5 miles a day. On January 1st, I'm going to start running 5 miles a day every day. This from a person that was a couch potato for 10 years. It may sound like I'm exaggerating, but I can tell you as a hypnotherapist, I literally have actually had these cases where people have come to me to have these ambitions to lose weight and get fit, and yet they're disappointed when I'm easing them in and building a strategy for them that's going to work. They're disappointed because what they want for me to do is hypnotize them, use hypnotherapy, which I'm very good at, snap my fingers and poof, they'll stop eating junk food and they're going to want to work out all the time. If that were possible, I'd be retired a long time ago with one client. It wouldn't be affordable. I could snap my fingers, make you work out, and stop eating junk food like that. So we need to ease our way in to some extent. We make goals that are either too flexible or too rigid, creating a formula for failure. Goals that are either too flexible. I'm going to work out more. What the hell does that mean? That's not very definitive. I'm going to eat less junk food. Too flexible. That's not very specific. That's your subconscious mind hard at work persuading you to be very vague and ambiguous about this so that it can fill in the blanks and it can define it for you. What is less? What is more? Those are very subjective terms. Or we create too rigid. I'm going to start running 5 miles a day. I'm going to stop eating donuts forever. That's it. No more junk food whatsoever ever again. So we create a formula for failure. We're trying to go from 0 to 100 miles an hour in an instant, and we just don't have the training for it. We do want to ease our way in somewhat. So I'm going to get to what to do about it in a moment. And number 4, we have no goal structure. Again, I've worked with hundreds of people over the years, and I'm so proud that I've been able to help them all succeed, every one of them. We work together to build strategies that fit for them based on their constitution, their strength, their weaknesses, their gender, their age, all these different factors that need to come into play. No goal structure is what goes wrong. We commit and think in ambiguous and abstract terms. I'm going to lose weight. How much? I'm going to stop eating junk food. What kind? I'm going to study more often. When? How often? How much more? What study? What courses? We think in ambiguous and abstract terms. All 4 of these are influencing coming from our subconscious mind. Why is it out to get us? Why is it sabotaging us? Because that's its job, to hold and sustain whatever behaviors you've taught it in place. That's all it knows. Your subconscious mind knows that you taught me this, and so therefore it must be a good thing. So my job is to protect it, no matter what the cost. It doesn't know the difference between good or bad. It only knows what you taught it. Let me say that again. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between good or bad. It knows what you taught it. Whatever you taught it, its job to protect it at any cost. So these rather obvious 4 stages of things that we do wrong when we're trying to make change in our lives is not entirely our fault. Our subconscious mind is influencing the way that we express it and interpret it to ourselves. It's influencing us to choose these ambiguous, abstract terms, to take on too much too fast. Why? So we'll fail. Why does it want us to fail? Because its job is to protect existing behaviors in any way that it can. And the best way to do that, and the easiest way, is to just get you to do things that you can't do. To think too much too fast. So what we need is a strategy for change. Now, again, I'm going to apologize because we're moving very fast today. Why? We don't have much time. So it's going to be very fast paced. Otherwise, it'll be a very, very long presentation. I've learned to keep these things down. Even an hour and a half can be quite long. We need a strategy for change. A strategy for change needs to have a formula that we can follow. It can't be ambiguous. And this is where I come in as a coach and a counselor and a therapist and a specialist. Is my role is to take your subjective views and turn them to objective ones, to take you out of the equation. As the outsider looking in, to remain objective, that's my skill set. That's why I'm hireable. That's why I'm professional. Because I don't have the same subconscious defects that you would have with your own behaviors. I have my own. And so my role is to help people clean these up and make them workable. To keep goals firm, but flexible and realistic. Keep them firm, not ambiguous. Oh, someday I'm going to lose some weight. Someday I'm going to start working out soon. No. Flexible and realistic. So soon is, well, tomorrow. But flexible is also, but unless my house is on fire, I'm not going to do it tomorrow. What time tomorrow? Well, in the afternoon. That's ambiguous. 4 o'clock. That may be too much. So it needs to be flexible to the point where if there's some kind of crisis going on, I can change it. I can stop and put out the fire that's in the house. But I also need to be realistic. Something that I can do. It has to be in the realm of what's within my power to do. Again, starting tomorrow to run the marathon, I'm a guy who had punctured lungs and a severed spine from my accident. I mean, I'm not running no marathons. I'm going to stay within my wheelhouse. We must have a tiered, stage-by-stage process to succeed. We can't just go from zero to something. We've got to work our way. It's got to be in stages. Because what happens when we have a tiered system for changing behaviors is begin with the easiest and not the most urgent. We often put in this in addiction terms. Someone wants to lose weight. I have this a lot. Somebody would come to me and say they want to lose weight and they also want to quit drinking. And I'd say, pick one. I said, well, no, they're both very important to me. I say, pick one, because your subconscious mind can't handle both at once. Come up with two very significant behaviors that you have, and drinking is usually a lot harder. So let's start with something easier. Start working out, getting in shape a little bit, or whatever it may be, because we use the early momentum and confidence you gain to propel you through the more difficult stages. Because as you choose something that's more easy instead of urgent, it's something that you can see the evidence of. You can see yourself succeeding at it. And this message goes straight to your subconscious mind. And you're basically saying that there's a new sheriff in town. And I'm not telling you to change it right here, right now, because it'll resist that. It'll punch back. You're easing it in. Not too slow, not too fast. You use the momentum and confidence on the easy things to build up, to get to the hard, more challenging things. So when you select what you're going to be working on to change in your life, start with the easiest, not the most urgent. This desire, this positive motivation we have to take the biggest and most urgent one on first is our subconscious mind deluding us. We think we're being very affirmative and very assertive and very motivated, and that's positive and that's great, and it is. However, remember where 88% of this is coming from is from your subconscious, whose job it is to sustain existing behaviors at any cost. And it'll do that by creating unrealistic expectations and goals for you. It'll encourage you to do it through this inflated motivation, which isn't real. Some of it is. But if it's really realistic, then you'll ease your way in to a degree. What is the easing your way in level or speed at, the pace? You go just outside your comfort zone, not far out. So an example again is, let's say I say, well, I want to start running and boost my cardio. That's my resolution. Too much too fast. I'm going to start running marathons tomorrow. Maybe I need to start with some walks. Maybe I need to start with some brisk walks. Maybe what I'm doing right now, since I haven't run in a while and it's very difficult for me with my balance issues from my brain injury, very difficult, is I went out a handful of days ago thinking I hadn't run in a long time, just run to get some cardio. And I almost got a cold from it because I was out of breath so much that I weakened my system down that I haven't been sick. I haven't even had a cold or a fever in 25 years. And I had a slight feeling of being a little bit sick from this because I went running. I did too much too fast. So now I backed it off and I need the cardio because I'm starting to play tennis again, I hope. And I go out and I take a walk, but I don't want to just walk. I want to be able to run again. Oh my God, do I want to be able to run again without falling down and risking cracking my skull? And so I can't go out and run a mile straight. I'm not ready for that yet. It's too difficult. My lungs aren't ready for that. So now what I'm doing is I'm walking for 5-10 minutes, and then I'm running for a minute. And then I'm walking a little bit more, and then I'm running for a minute. I'm seeing a landmark, and I'm like, I'm going to run to that house on the corner. And then I stop, and I'm out of breath. And then I walk a little bit. So mix it up. You've got to have the strategy for change that makes sense, that's so progressive. Now, this is all rather kind of bullet pointed, but I'm giving you some valuable information. Hopefully, you'll be able to rewatch this and there's a lot of layers in here. So if you're not getting it all right away, it's because I'm giving you a lot really fast. But we also need to develop a relationship with our goal. This is critical. When people come to me as a clinical therapist and hypnotherapist and counselor, they have very abstract relationship with their goals. They say, I want to lose weight. I said, well, why do you want to lose weight? I said, because I want to look better. I said, why do you want to look better? I don't know. I mean, don't we all? That's a true answer. Of course we all do. But until we have a personal understanding of why we want that for ourselves, for example, I want to look good too. We all do. The why, develop the relationship, the intimate and personal relationship that I have with my parents is, I found that as a public presenter and as a counselor, working intimately with people, one-on-one, I found the benefit is that when I look good, when I'm fit, when I'm smart, when I'm healthy and well, as a vegetarian, and I live the example of what I'm teaching them, the benefit is that I'm not just telling them in theory, that I can inspire them by saying, look, I'm the proof of that. I've overcome massive brain trauma. So I'm the proof that you can do these things. I'm not just giving you a what if magical wishful thinking scenario. I'm telling you that I've done it. So for me, staying fit and trying to look good and present well has a lot of mileage. It has a big value to me because people rely and trust me to follow my advice. And so therefore I have to be the example of that advice. Was it Gandhi that said, be the example you want to see in the world? And I love that. And I think it's critical. So the value for me, the personal and intimate relationship I have with my wellness, notice to say wellness is a very general term. My physical wellness, my mental wellness, my spiritual wellness is comprehensive. My personal and intimate relationship with my goals, my wellness, is because I value more than anything being able to do a good job of what I do. People rely on me. They trust me. I can't mislead them. That would devour me. That's the more humanitarian aspect. And the selfish aspect is I need to know every day whether somebody succeeded at their plan, at their goals or not working with me. I need to know that I did all I possibly could, that I never steered them wrong, that I gave them all the right information, advice, and strategies for them. If they didn't apply it, that's on them. But I need to know personally that I've done a good job. When I was terrified after my accident, my brain injury, and I could barely walk. And after I learned to walk, and I remember thinking, I'm feeling tears coming. The cherished memories I had playing catch with my son, who's a stud baseball player now. I coached his teams, and he was going to come visit me when I was living in Washington. And I thought how wonderful it would be if he and I could play catch. I couldn't play catch. I could not see and move to a ball, even if it was almost thrown right at me. I had no footwork. I could not move that way. And it broke my heart. And the discussion I'm having with myself was, well, then maybe you need to start running and exercising in ways that will help you regain your ability to balance and coordinate. And it was overwhelming to me. The thought of doing anything more than walking, which took a tremendous amount of focus, was terrifying because I was absolutely convinced I would fall on my face. And the inner dialogue I had was, well, and then what? Is it going to kill you? Well, no, but it'll hurt. Will you survive it? Yeah. Well, then get doing it. And so I thought, okay, as of tomorrow, instead of just taking my two times a day walk, I'm going to run some of it. So what do you mean as of tomorrow? If it's a good idea, then do it now. Do it on today's walks. And so I did. I didn't wait. My guru once said something very kind of basic to me. He said, when you think of something bad to do, postpone it. When you think of something good to do it right away. All I've done with all my addictions and vices is I just postpone them. I'm not going to do them. I just keep putting it off. I'll have that donut later. I'll be lazy. I'll kick it later. Right now, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the good thing now. So build a personal and intimate relationship with your goals. Why do you want them? Don't just say because it's healthy, because it's a good idea. Personally, why do you personally go deep and discover and admit, whether it's shallow or profound, admit the real reason. Maybe you want to look good and be fit simply so you can score better with the opposite sex. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing that's wrong is if you delude yourself. Know personally and intimately why you want to achieve this goal, because when you do, that is the core and the source of your motivation. When you know why you want something and it means something to you, and you develop a personal motivation for it, that's when your motive comes. And that's when you find the energy and the time to make it happen. Everything you succeeded at is because of this, because you personally, intimately cared. You wanted what it had to give you. You needed it. So you did what you had to do. That drive, that desire drove you to do what you had to do. And I tell you, even to this day, when I run, I air quote run because it's just so badly done for me. I don't think of how it's going to feel when I'm doing it because I'll hate it. I don't think about how it's going to feel before I do it. The whole time I'm doing it, I think about how I'll feel when I'm done. I don't live in the moment. Again, I can transcend time. I can travel time. When I'm doing something that I don't like, I can think about and apply my mind to and enjoy the imagination of how it'll feel when I'm done. I don't want to be sitting there thinking about taking the trash out when I'm taking the trash out. No, I just want to think about what it's going to feel like when I'm done. I don't want to be thinking, having some Zen moment with washing the dishes. Screw that. That's boring. I want to be thinking while I'm doing the dishes, what am I doing later? When this is done, when this tedious, menial chore is out of the way, then I'm free, I'm liberated to be able to do the things that I want. So build an intimate and personal relationship with your goals for change. And I'm just going to skip some of this. SMART, success, manifesting, and realization thinking. Okay, now typically I have 3 examples every year that I would give on this to give examples of how to create a formula for change. I'm not going to do that today. We don't have time for it. We don't have time for it. It's Groundhog Day. So the turbo boost to change. This is the big bump. These are the turbo boost. Insights. The power of suggestion. How suggestibility works, self-hypnosis versus auto-hypnosis. I can and have taught a lot of people how to do self-hypnosis. It doesn't work as good as auto-hypnosis from the outside. As a hypnotherapist, when I use hypnotherapy with someone, the suggestions that I'm giving to their subconscious mind to exact a change and change a behavior are objective, not subjective. See, theirs, when they're creating their own suggestions, affirmations, etc., visualizations, that's all being influenced by the 88% subconscious mind, whose job it is to hold behaviors in place, not change them. So how suggestibility works is we've got to be able to find objectivity, because however we word, phrase, or visualize or experience our suggestibility for a goal is influenced by the force whose job it is to keep the existing one in place, not to change, not help a new one along. So these are just some brief notes here that self-hypnosis versus auto-hypnosis is way better. Now, understand also that this was my annual Resolution Revolution, was also something of a marketing thing. There was always free workshops, but this is where I would also, again, I toured, I lectured on these things. So I have these in very broke down, a whole workshop is based on these things. So repetition and association is a very essential part of the turbo boost to change. Repetition, something we do over and over again, really easy to understand. Anything you do over and over again gets etched into your subconscious mind, the 88%. And association, what you think of it. So every time, I'm just going to give a crude example. If every time someone smokes a cigarette, that's repetition. So they're embedding this behavior in their subconscious mind by doing it again and again and again. Real simple. The subconscious mind is saying, this must be a good thing because he does it all the time. The association. If while you're doing it, you're thinking about how much you enjoy it, if because the way you enjoy it is because you take a break and go outside to smoke that cigarette, well, it ain't necessarily the cigarette that you're enjoying. It's because of the break you're taking. But because you're associating it with the smoking event, you're programming your subconscious mind to associate the smoking with the pleasurable part. So we repeat something over and over again, and then the way that we perceive it, the way we associate with it, smoking is good, donuts are good, they're pleasurable, they feel good. We know intellectually they're bad, but it's not the association we have with them with that way they feel. So we create habits and behaviors and addictions through repetition and association. We can get this power to work for us instead of against. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between good or bad. It only knows what you teach it. So if you repeat and associate something is good that's negative and toxic for you, then your subconscious mind will accept it because it has to. But if you sample, experiment, experience healthy, well behaviors, eating well, exercising, watching smart things instead of dumbass reality shows. These are the types of repetition association that, again, your subconscious mind can't say no to. It learns all behaviors through this process of repetition and association, every one of them. So what you teach it is up to you. How you teach it is always going to be the same. You do something over and over again and categorize it while you're doing it. So when I'm running, I personally can't stand it, but I remind myself while I'm doing it. So my subconscious mind gets the message. I remind myself the whole time. I'm like, well, I don't like this way it feels, but it's good for me. I'm creating the association. I'm doing it every day, whether I like it or not. So that's repetition. The association is I remind myself consciously. I send the message to my subconscious mind with my conscious mind that this is good for me. And I will feel good for doing it, not while doing it. And sure enough, when I'm done taking a walk or going on a run, I feel like crap because it's hard for me. But mentally, I feel empowered because I did what I had to do to improve. And I feel proud of that. And it's very satisfying, fulfilling. That didn't just happen. I made that happen. That in spite of the fact that I wasn't enjoying it, I stayed with it. And that feels so good. That goes from pleasure to fulfillment. And fulfillment contains pleasure in it. But pleasure does not have fulfillment in it. Think ice cream, fast food versus good stuff. Ice cream and fast food instant gratification. The other stuff takes a little more time. One feels good, pleasure. The other one feels fulfilling because it keeps giving long after the moment is gone. So the next one, we're going to move rapidly along. The affirmations and visualizations. Remember, we're talking about the turbo boost for change, the tools we can use. So there was the power of suggestion, how to do it right. Has to be reasonable, has to be within your wheelhouse, has to be something that's objective, not subjective. To get it from another source, I'm one of those. To understand repetition and association, anything you do over and over again, how you categorize it, how you send the message from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind. So these are very powerful tools. And then we're going to learn how to use affirmations and visualizations. So you see a little bit of stutter there. That's part of my brain injury. Affirmations and visualizations. There's a science to that too. What does it look like? What does a goal look like? If I say I want to be fit, I want to lose weight, what does it look like? When I ask people this when they're in my office, I say, describe that to me. So I look good. I look better. I look fit. I'm like, well, again, where's the personal, intimate relationship with this view? What does it look like? See it in detail. Your visualizations must be in detail, not in black and white, but in color, specifically. Keep it real. No Elmer Fudd's. There was this Elmer Fudd cartoon where he and Bugs Bunny were hypnotized. My name's Elmer Fudd. I own a mansion and a yacht. No, he doesn't. We have to keep it real. No Elmer Fudd's. We can't say my name's Elmer Fudd and I own a mansion and a yacht. It has to be something more gradual, because when we're doing this, this is the sabotage of the subconscious mind, creating expectations and goals that are unrealistic. I'm not Elmer Fudd. I do not own a mansion or a yacht. That's too much, too fast. That's a product of the subconscious mind influencing my process and my method so that it can self-sabotage and hold the existing behaviors in place and not allow the new ones to come in. We have to outsmart our subconscious mind. So you want to watch out for the sabotage of the subconscious that's coming up with these ideas. Now, part of the marketing towards clients for this is, unfortunately, again, the process to understand the sabotage of the subconscious can be complicated. I'm a master at it because I've been doing it for years, teaching and counseling and guiding and building strategy for people for almost 20 years around the globe, and succeed with all of them. So it's a process. Part of what you can take away from this today is to realize that the attempts that you might have made in the past to change behaviors and change your mind and change your life didn't work, not because you're a failure, not because you're not any good. It's because there's a process to this that you just don't know. It's ignorance. And ignorance is not a four-letter word. It's got soft edges to it. When you learn the process, I don't care who you are, when I teach people the actual process, people to understand how the subconscious can sabotage and how to create affirmations and visualizations that work, that are real, and that can be viewed the way that they really are, change becomes more than possible. So one of the things that we want to do is, when we visualize and have our affirmations, use your imagination. When I was brokenhearted because I knew that I'd never be able to play catch with my son again, I imagined, I visualized what it would be like with my grown son then and now to be able to play catch with him. It broke my heart because as I tried to visualize and imagine it, I realized I couldn't do it. And that was a hard thing to willingly participate in. This degradation of being aware that I could not do this anymore. And that was a part of my life that I loved so much, and that he'd never see me the same again. But I could imagine. And so I did. It cost me nothing. I could imagine playing catch with him and being able to do it, whether I could or not. It's my imagination. I can do whatever I want. Well, we do play catch now. I don't do it that well, but we do it. And I catch the ball and I throw it back, and sometimes I don't. But see, what he gets as a grown man now is a little bit of nostalgia and playing catch with his dad. He's doing me more a favor than anything else. But what I get is playing catch with my son. I get the satisfaction of knowing that I'm doing something that I never thought I could do. I'm having the triumph, the fulfillment, the achievement, the determination. There's so many different levels taking place, and it all starts with my imagination. Because I can believe, because I can visualize, I can imagine what it looks like, what it will feel like. When I imagine what it would look like to play catch with him, then I imagine what it would feel like. And as great as I imagined how good it would feel, didn't even come close to what it actually was the first time that I came back to California. We're over there on the beach by my house, playing catch in a park. Two guys doing something so common and average that me personally, I'm having this exalting experience, trying to contain myself, not to cry over what's happening, because it's a miracle. I'm supposed to be dead. I'm supposed to be able to walk. Brain neurologist from UCLA said he'll never be able to take care of himself. He'll be a vegetable forever. Ha! Showed them wrong, didn't I? I imagined and I did. Because we can time travel. The struggles that I had to learn how to walk and talk, I time traveled. I would visualize and I would imagine a time when I could do it. As if I was looking over my shoulder saying, remember when? Remember when that was so hard? Remember there was a time when you didn't think you could do that at all? I sent my son a little Christmas wish. Thought it was kind of cute. I said, remember that when you were a child, when you were a little boy, you didn't just write to Santa. Santa wrote back. I had crafted letters from Santa Claus. Whenever he sent a letter to Santa when he was a little child, Santa wrote him back. Return address to North Pole. Santa wrote him, but they had a little correspondence going on. And it evoked him, and he said, of course I remember, and I loved every bit of it. You can imagine, and you can look over your shoulder. That's a fond memory to have. That's a very fond memory. I have a ton of them. We all do. So create them. Create the ones that you haven't yet done. I now can imagine what it'll feel like when I've already done something. By looking over my shoulder, how it's going to feel when I've already accomplished it. How much it's going to be like to do it, how stressful it's going to be. I got that in droves. That'll happen while I'm doing something. But I can time travel. I can teleport my mind to the future and imagine what it's going to be like when it's already done. I'm not thinking about the dishes while I'm doing them. I'm thinking about what it's going to be like when they're done. Before I even go do them, I'm thinking about what it's going to be like when they're done. I'm not going to think about what it's going to be like to do them because I don't want to do them. So even before doing the dishes, I'm thinking like, well, I'm not going to enjoy this, but when it's all done, I'm going to feel good. I got a few things going on in the kitchen right now. I'm going to make a loaf of pumpkin bread. And I'm not thinking about making the bread because I'm not a baker. I don't enjoy that. I'm thinking about how good it's going to taste once it's done. And it might not. It might be terrible. I'm not a great baker. But somebody gave me the ingredients as a gift, and I want to make it. From scratch. Well, I got a bread maker. So look over your shoulder. Teleport your mind and your imagination to the future. And look back on what you've already done, even though you've never done it yet. Forget the past. And never mind the present. Imagine how you will feel in the future. The past is where it belongs, in the past. I can't change that truck hitting me in the face and robbing me from everything I knew. It's in the past. It's where it belongs. I was a drug addict when I was young. I lived on the streets, blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying those aren't bad things. They were terrible things. Some of it was kind of fun and good too. But the past where it belongs, in the past. And never mind the present. When you're doing things that you don't really enjoy doing, don't think about that. Think about the future. Think how you will feel when you're done. Watch how time flies when you're thinking about what you're going to feel like when you're done rather than what you're doing when you're doing it. Results versus effort. Not about win or lose, but how you played the game. Results versus effort. We want results from everything that we do. There's no guarantee in that. People would always say to me for a couple of years after my accident, when they would hear some of the stories, that I'm a miracle, and I know that I am a medical miracle. I know that it defies all science what has happened with me. And I say that I did the work and God graced me with results. They say God only helps those who help themselves. I had no guarantee of results when I was getting off dope in my 20s. When I wanted to become a virtuous man, to be committed to one woman, which, that's gone now, but I did. Things I never thought I'd ever be able to do. Be a professional counselor instead of a construction guy, which is what I had always been. There was no guarantee for any results. But I know I need to know that if I don't succeed at something, it isn't because I didn't try. I need to know that if I could not run or play catch with my son, it wasn't because I didn't try. If I was never going to walk again, it wasn't going to be because I wasn't going to try. Typically, the results you get are proportionate to the effort that you put in. We all agree to this. Just do it, says Nike. It's not whether you win or lose and how you played the game. Well, we want to win. I'm playing the game because I want to win. There's no doubt about that. But if I lose, I need to know that it wasn't because I didn't play well. It ain't as good as winning, because when you win, you get to know you played well and you won. But if we can't have both, then at least get the first one. Play the game well. Do what you can. Now, here's a very innovative technique. When we want to change our mind and change our life, take the 90-day challenge. Now, I'm not going to go into all the science and detail that I'm award-winning for. I've got 6 awards for being an author, and Project Addiction has won 3. 2. I don't know. And also accredited from the California state legislation. I am the innovator of the 90-day challenge. So there's a formula that I can't go into all the details here, but you go to my website, life-mind.com, there's a lot there on it. And certainly my book, Project Addiction. If you abstain from a behavior for 90 plus days, then you break its bond. If you persist in a behavior for 90 plus days, then you create the bond. Prior to that, it's fragile and weak and it's not tangible. Doesn't get traction. Anything that you want to change and get rid of, stay absent from it for 90 plus days. When I say 90 plus, typically 110. Anything you want to, a habit you want to create, exercise, for example. So again, in the most generic terms, I want to quit smoking. I want to quit eating donuts, whatever it may be. 90 days. It's going to be hard. Your subconscious mind is going to throw up every roadblock it possibly can to sustain behavior. Everything it can. But the 90-day formula is where it breaks down. Anything that you do for 90 plus days goes through the layers of the mind, and it becomes cemented in, and your subconscious mind then accepts it as a behavior. Until then, it rejects it. It'll go along with it here and there, but it'll keep rejecting and resisting as well. But after 90 days, you basically wore it out. To create a behavior, persist in it for over 90 days. To break one and get rid of it, abstain from it for over 90 days. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that a heroin addict, once they've stayed 90 days clean, they're completely free of it. Once an addict, always an addict. However, the psychological, psychiatric, pathological bond that our mind and spirit has made with the behavior is now broken. I never like to say, trust me, because when somebody says that to me, I think they're a used car salesman. I want to earn your confidence, not your trust. The 90-day formula, what I call 30, 60, 90. In my Project Addiction video course and in the book, breaks it each down. So you're going to know exactly what you're going to experience day to day in month 1, in the first 30 days, then the 60, then the 90, and they change dramatically for everybody. But this formula, again, I didn't just create it. The people that I've worked with over the years, this process, the 30, 60, 90-day challenge, evolved and took shape with all the people that I've worked with over the years. And it is 100%. My video course is 90 days long. And you do content every day. We're not talking about just changing a habit. We're talking about solving addictions that kill people. And everything from sex to porn to heroin to alcohol to food to shopping. Shopping to sex, alcohol to ecstasy. That's part of the motto of it. And it's guaranteed. No addiction course or rehab or anything like that guarantees anything, because they bank off you not working at it, not getting results. Mine is guaranteed. You do the course as it's laid out for $325, which is nothing. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars of treatment over 3 months, daily content, guaranteed to work. Now, this sounds like a sales pitch, and I suppose it's ended up becoming something like that, but that wasn't my intent. I can't speak enough about it. I'm so proud and so grateful to the clients over the decades that were part of this innovative system evolving to what it is, and it teaches you how to adapt it to who you are. Not a one-size-fits-all strategy, but a 90-day, 30, 60, 90-day strategy to break habits and behaviors and install new ones. It's a fail-safe formula. Everyone has to do a little differently for themselves because we're all different. But what you're going to experience, the challenges and the blessings along the way, but specifically the challenges you're going to experience, you'll think I'm psychic. Like, how does this guy know like exactly what I'm feeling? When? On day 12? All these kind of things. They vary a little bit from person to person. Because the human mind works on principles, a basic set of principles. And when we understand those principles, we become the master of them, instead of them being the master of us. I've spent the time to unravel the principles by which the mind works on in these areas to create and sustain behaviors, good ones and bad ones. Remember, your subconscious mind is subjective, is objective. It only knows what you teach it. It doesn't know the difference between good or bad. That's a subjective view. The subconscious mind simply looks at whatever you taught it is good. So I'm going to wrap up the resolution revolution and get a little bit back. We're going to summarize some of this. Summary first for the spiritual content. Time and soul are eternal. You didn't start. You've always been, and you always will be. In various forms, that changes. Reincarnation, and eventually, as the Buddha did, becoming liberated completely from the material phenomena to become enlightened. I don't know why I'm air quoting because it's a real thing. And he taught liberated enlightenment, and I pursue spiritual enlightenment. I not only want to be liberated from material phenomena, Maya, I also want to be unionized, to be one with the God power, and experience the intimacy and the bliss and the love and nothing else. There are 4 yugas, ages: Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali, and we are in Kali Yuga. We are 5,000 years into Kali, the age of ignorance and materialism. This is valuable, I think, because we all struggle to cope with the vapid, oh my God, frustration of this world that we live in. Boy, people are shallow. Boy, people are stupid. Boy, people are sinister. And we are too. We say people, we always think everyone else, but not me. No, we are too. We all have our agendas. It helps to understand time, Kal, from the Vedas because it gives us perspective. There's nothing you can do about it, but it helps you get through it a little bit day to day. Perspective helps a lot. Even though we can't always do anything about it, it helps understand that it's not my fault. Nothing I can do about that. We can't change the age that we're in, but we can interact and enhance and improve our own personal experience by becoming the best that we can be. The upside and the downside. The downside is that is the age of ignorance and materialism. Who can deny this? New Agers that sit there and talk about the Aquarian age. Yeah, sure. It's still minimal. And the upside is, again, we realize Kali is so dark and tragic, but the age of Kali means that we all get greater on the curve. It's far easier to become enlightened and spiritually realized, God realized in this age than any other age. We have to do less and get more. The BOGO sale, spiritual BOGO sale. So let's take advantage of that. Some of the other notes there were that the soul illuminates the body, and it's within the heart region, and that the mind is never at rest. We can capitalize on this. I'm not trying to be peaceful and content and calm. What a waste of time. I can't do it. And neither can you. The only way that you can do the Buddha thing and be all peaceful and calm is go live in a cave in the Himalayas. And you do that long enough, sure, you'll be peaceful and calm because no one's going to be bothering you, cutting you off in traffic, calling you and irritating you, testing you a bunch of garbage. Not going to be problems with your cell phone, problems with your cable TV, Time Warner Spectrum. Oh my God. How can you be calm and content with these kind of Kali Yuga factors around you? So we can never be at rest. And I don't want to be. I cannot stop desiring because I'm a desire machine, and so are you. But we can choose what we're going to desire. I don't desire peace in this lifetime or on this world because it has none. You can't get from it what it does not have. What I desire is my union with God, my union with the divine, my soul removing the sheaths of its materialism to leave me at the core essence of what I truly am so that I can experience the divine and be one with it. That is what spiritual enlightenment is. Not regular enlightenment, but spiritual enlightenment. So my restlessness is a virtue. That's the perspective that I have. I'm not upset that I'm upset. I'm not upset that I'm anxious. It's normal. It's part of life. And I'm not getting anxiety over trying to be calm. I accept that life is chaotic. The world is confusing. And I'm angry about it too. I'm not all okay with it. No, I'm angry all the time with it. I accept that as part of it. High blood pressure, gray hair, whatever. I mean, it's all part of the existence. Since I can't stop it, It's about what it means to me. What am I doing with it? If I'm going to have desires, what can I do with them? I can desire to love. I can desire to be loved. I can desire to earn it and be worthy of it. And that's what I want. I cannot be indifferent to what people think of me. I want love, and I want people to love me and like me and respect me and admire me. That's normal. But what I can do is be worthy of that and try. I can't be worthy, but I can try every day to be worthy of that love. I can't force my son to love me, but I can work to be worthy of his love and respect. I will never be worthy of God's love and affection, but he cannot stop me from trying to be. I will always try to be worthy of his love and affection, but I'll never be able to do it, because who can possibly be worthy of God's love and affection? But I know, and I can sense, and I can feel the fact that it means so much to me to try and be worthy of him. I can feel him smile warmly towards me and say, well, you can't be worthy of me, but I like that you want to try. I'm his child. We all are. And what happens with our children? We put their dumb pictures up on the refrigerator, no matter how bad they are, because we know they're doing the best they can. We love them. And God's that way with us. Our divine parent just loves us. He puts all of our stupid, dumb drawings up on his cosmic refrigerator because he's proud of us. Our weak, stupid, futile efforts to be worthy of his affection and love. She puts those up on her refrigerator. Yes, he, she, God the divine. Because again, there's two things that God can't do. One of them is that God cannot not love us. Can't. We are loved unconditionally. So let's try and be worthy of that. This is where we can change and choose our desires. The summary of the worldly topics. The theory of the mind, the 12% versus 80%. Remember that, because when you're conscious, 12%, of the fact that 80% of your decisions and actions and behaviors are influenced by the subconscious, that gives you an edge up. It first sounds defeating. Well, if I've only got 12% to access, well, then I'm screwed. I can't beat 80%. You're trying to beat it, trying to get that 80% to work for you instead of against. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between good or bad. It knows what you teach it. So it says it doesn't know, it doesn't care. It's completely objective. So it'll do whatever you teach it to do. Good, bad, it doesn't care. Repetition and association. What goes wrong is our poor goal structure. We need to build with reasonable strategy. Smart, intelligent, reasonable. That's customized to us. Not what we want to be. No Elmer Fudd's here. No mansion and a yacht. No. If I say as an affirmation, I own a mansion and a yacht, my subconscious mind is like, BS. No, you don't. You're so full of it. I can't support that idea. But if I say in my affirmation, I am working hard every day to become a millionaire and own a mansion and a yacht. Subconscious goes, oh, wait a minute. Well, I can't reject that. I mean, you're not saying you do have it. You're saying that you're working towards it. So that slight little bend in the affirmation and the visualization is something a little more real. My subconscious mind cannot reject that. I'm making it reasonable. Start easy and work your way up. Not on January 1st, I'm going to start running marathons and never ever smoke again, never eat any junk food. My smoking cessation program, which is also a video course, is also guaranteed. I think it's like $60. Guaranteed. I mean, when I was in private practice in my office, we're talking 6 sessions that were $140 to $180 each, and guaranteed to work. And because it does, 100% work. But this is because I gradually, over 6 weeks, teach you how to be a non-smoker the same way that you taught yourself to be a smoker, through, I don't know if it's there, repetition and association. by a system. The way your mind learns behaviors is the same way it unlearns them. My smoking cessation course is guaranteed. My addiction course is guaranteed. My sleep solution course is guaranteed because I'm teaching you how to sleep well. I'm training you how to do it. We got to make our goals to change and improve personal. Not just because it's a good idea, because I want to look good. Why? Why you? What specifically are your reasons? Make sure that you can answer that in a very intimate and personal way. Build that heart connection to your goal to the point where you can't live without it. That's my spiritual goal. I can't live without it. I not only can't imagine my life without my guru, without God in it. I mean, that ain't no metaphor. I can't live without it. Actually, genuinely, as we often say these days, literally, I cannot live without it. I cannot imagine how people do. Atheists, agnostics, like, I don't get it. I just don't get it when I see the evidence all around me. Make your goals personal and intimate and watch your motivation manifest and appear when you need it the most, to run that last mile, to say no to that one thing, to go to bed early, to get the rest, to do what you need to do. Put one foot in front of the other and walk and then run instead of tripping and falling. Again, I don't do it well, but I can do it. And before I couldn't do it at all. They told me that I never would. Suggestibility. Objective suggestions, not subjective. That, unfortunately, it's best to get that from an outside source. I counsel people now through Skype, and I often will through emails and through other types of correspondence. They'll send me what their goals are, and sometimes I'm going to give them their suggestions and teach them self-hypnosis and how to use repetition and association. That part's key. If you learn nothing else to change behavior and create a new one that's good and healthy, repetition and association. Do things over and over again, and while you're doing it, consciously categorize it and build that personal, intimate connection with it that it's good. Again, I hated when I first started running. Again, I hated every step. If I thought in the moment, the thought was, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. This is so uncomfortable, this is so painful, this is so terrifying. I'm going to fall. I'm scared. That's all I could think. And so I would distract myself with thinking, in 10 minutes, I'm going to be back at home, having run my little route here, and I'll be feeling good that I did it. That I didn't do it well, but I did it. That in spite of not wanting to and hating it, that I stuck it out. And I'll have that moment of being proud, like a little kid with his picture up on the refrigerator. Affirmations and visualizations need to be clear and detailed, not vague and ambiguous. And your affirmations need to be objective, not subjective. It's a process, but you basically clean them up over time as you distance yourself from your personal goals with it. I'm just going you to build a personal goal with your goals, personal relationship, and at the same time, I'm contradicting that by saying that your visualizations and suggestions need to be objective, not personal. Again, that's a bit of science there. Time travel. Use your imagination. Don't think about doing the dishes while you're doing the dishes. Don't think about doing the dishes before you got to do them. Think about how it's going to feel like when you're done. Teleport yourself into the future and think about what it's going to feel like when you've succeeded. The first time I gave a public presentation after my accident, I could barely talk. And it was the New Year's resolution because it was that time of year that came around. I was killed in June. Here we are 6 months later, and everyone's expecting me to do this. And I'm thinking, I can't even stand. I can't speak in front of people. And I was terrified and sad, thinking my life is over. My career is over. That's all done now. And I thought about how it would feel. I remember this very clearly now. I remember thinking how it would feel as I thought about calling up the city, because I used to perform these in the city for the city council at the local community centers. And They contacted me and said, Scott, it's time to do your annual workshop. Are you ready? And I was thinking about calling them and saying no. I thought about how I would feel when I told them no. And the feeling that came was shame and failure. And I thought about how I would feel if I did it. And I felt shame and failure because I figured I was going to make a fool out of myself. But since I was going to feel shame or failure if I didn't do it, or if I did it and did it poorly, there was one third emotion that went with doing it, even if I did it badly. And that was satisfaction of knowing that I gave a damn to try. I could not have endured the feeling of shame of not trying. I needed to know whether I could do it or not. I needed to see if I was going to fail. I wanted to experience it, put it to a test. Sure enough, I did okay. Matter of fact, it's on video. And I've seen the video. I'm like, I can tell I'm kind of messed up, but honestly, most people can't. So time travel, your imagination is your best friend when you're achieving goals and creating behaviors and getting rid of behaviors. Imagine, visualize, affirm what it's going to feel like and look like. Build a personal, intimate relationship with that image. Build with that. The point is, don't look at life as a temporary existence, but live with an awareness of the eternal. There just isn't enough emphasis for this concept. We live in a now spot existent existence. I think as we become adults, we're not thinking of just now. We're thinking, I got to save money. I got to put away for my retirement. I got to keep my health good because otherwise I'm going to be paying. I'm going to be in pain and suffering later. We're sort of thinking longer terms. When we're children, we think of just now, and that's normal. But as we get older, we get a longer range of vision of our time. We realize what we do today is going to affect us tomorrow. What we invest in today is going to give dividends tomorrow or not. So continuously strive daily throughout your day. Think of the things you're doing and not doing and how it affects you eternally, not today in this life. If it's good for this life, well, then it's good in the long run too. If it's bad in this life, bad in this week, well, then it's going to be bad in the long run too. So it's really kind of simple, but it helps to have perspective of the things that we're doing that are hard, challenging, to remind ourselves that I'm not just banking on today. I'm not just trying to create fulfillment or pleasure today. I'm investing in a future that I can't even see or know of yet, identity, an incarnation that I don't even know yet. I'm putting deposits into my karmic and sanskar banking account to withdraw in my next life. Whatever I put in to my karmic bank account now is what I'm going to be able to withdraw from in my next life. So invest well. Think of time not just as temporal, but as eternal. Be aware that you are an eternal being. Time is eternal, and so are you. You ain't going anywhere. So start getting it right. Otherwise, it's Groundhog Day at the DMV. Time is a paradox. It is eternal, but slipping away. I can't give you time because I don't know any of it. Can you give me some of your time? Can you give me some time? Nope, you can't. Life is short if it's good and long if it sucks. That movie that you go see that you pay good money for, if it's a really bad movie, you're like, oh my God, what am I saying? But you can't get them to leave because you paid money for it. You're just not willing to do that. I did it once in movies. I was like, you know what? This ain't going to get any better. And it's 3 hours long. This ain't going to get any better. I'm going to tell what movie it was, but it never did get any better. I didn't see it later. Life is good if it's short. Life is short if it's good. If time is flying by, then you're doing things right. There's never enough time. You don't have enough time because you can't have it. You can't give it. You can't take my time. You can't give me your time. Make the most out of time. Carpe diem. Everyone knows that one. Carpe noctis. Seize the night too. Don't just seize the day. Carpe omnius. Carpe everything. Carpe all of it. Don't just carpe diem. No, 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 no. Carpe noctis. Seize the night. Seize the evening. Seize everything. Seize every moment as if it's your last. Make the most of your human existence and get your spirit on, yo. Think of eternal, not just temporal. Temporal is who you are in this body, this identity, this name. But eternal is get your spirit on. Get in touch with who you are eternally. The ansh, the fraction of the divinity that you are, truly. Be aware of death. Be aware of rebirth. Reincarnation is like Groundhog Day, the DMV. Look, I kind of have done it all and been there and done that. I've traveled the world. I've been in love many times. I've been a parent. I am a parent. I'm a single parent. I've done things to the utmost. I've had profound experiences. I've started businesses. I've also dug ditches for a living and still do sometimes. And no matter what the material world can offer me, it's limited and it comes with a cost. There's nothing all good and nothing bad. It all comes at costs. It's all proportionate. The harder something is, the better results is going to give to you. The easier something is, the less fulfilling it's going to be. Reincarnation is like Groundhog Day at the DMV. No matter how good you can, the best things you can get from the world are still limited and they're still temporary. They're not going to fulfill you forever. So get your perspective right. Invest in the eternal. Invest in your long-range goal of spiritual realization and enlightenment. It's the only way out of Groundhog Day, the DMV. Otherwise, you just keep reincarnating again and again and again. So be aware of death while you live. Be aware of rebirth. Put your time, consideration into a longer perspective and see the long haul of it. Once again, if you could, please like the channel, visit the website, even if you just cruise by it, which I know you'll find a lot of interesting things there to read, to study, and to participate in. And there's free offers. Just the traffic to the channel and the traffic to the website. I don't get anything out. I don't charge for any of these things. Are there things there for sale? Certainly, and I hope you might want to participate in some of them. That's why I offer them. I give a lot and ask a little. The workbooks that I have are like $7, $8. It took me months to create those things. Lifetime of study and research to gain the knowledge that's contained within them to make them accessible to you. Who inspires me is not only my guru and his disciples, devotees that put it in context what it is that he teaches, but also something like Brian Greene. Brian Greene's Elegant Universe. I mean, this guy is taking 11-dimensional quantum theory and making it accessible to some dummy like me. You know? So what I try to offer you on Spiritual Triangle is content and knowledge and things that are accessible to everyday people, layman's terms. It's also very cerebral and high up there, but you can get access to a whole lot for very, very little. And I encourage you to go check it out and try it out. Sample it. See if there's something you like. If you thumbs up the channel, if you go by my website, that gives me a boost too. It doesn't cost you anything. And it gives me a lot. So again, get your free Spiritual Triangle reading. There's a free life purpose reading offer for you right now on my website, spiritualtriangle.com. Not free, not sorta, not kinda. Enter your credit card and then you'll get it. No. It does cost your email, of course, but it's free. And it's personalized and customized just for you. And honestly, I sometimes think it's not a good idea to keep bringing this up because these things take me a lot of time. And if I get hammered with requests, I serve them all. I'm not going to tell anybody no. So if you want to go by the website and take advantage of the free offer for the life purpose reading, I think we get a lot out of it. It's custom made just for you. So that's going to wrap it up now. 2021. I have several times referred to the coming up with the near-death experience. I'm going to begin in 2021. The next presentations I give, I'm going to begin presenting on the death experience. I've been a lot of thinking on this. I've got some wonderful ideas. You're going to go on this journey with me if you want to participate. I'm going to share with you in an objective way my personal experience with my death, my physical and medical recovery that made me a 3-time medical miracle, and also the supernatural aspect of it, what I experienced on the other side, which was pretty wild. I'm going to share this with you over a series of videos. How many? I don't know. I'm just going to plug in and we're going to do it. And we're going to explore this entire adventure. I don't think I do want to write it down in a book anymore. It's already underway, but as a 6-time award-winning author of 4 books, I think I want to experiment with a new medium. And I think I want to experiment with just doing this. We're just going to get up and talk about it and share with you the experiences with some visuals to go along with it. Here's one of me right there in the hospital, right when they brought me in from when I was down on the street. You can see the scars all over my face, where the doctors told my loved ones, he'll never even look the same no matter what we do. And I guess I came out okay. So we're going to go into that soon. Stand by. Please like the channel, visit the website. I already said all this, but this is kind of a slide that's in there. It costs literally nothing to like the channel, and traffic results and ratings, and only through donations and services can I or any spiritualist continue to offer truth and knowledge. Your donations for services are very welcome. In other words, when you donate, when you buy my services, well, they're very welcome. And that's what it is really is a donation. I am not a human being having a spiritual experience. I am a spiritual being having a human experience. Teilhard de Chardin. Don't forget that, please. Remember, that's what you are. A spiritual being having a human experience. Don't lose sight of Kal. Don't lose sight of time. Make the most of it. Keep your eternal perspective. Please feel free to come back and revisit this video. Jump around all you want. Contact me. Visit life-mind.com as well to see the formulas that I have for strategy, the courses that I have that teach you how to change behaviors. And even though the courses that there are right now are for sleep, smoking, there's one for fitness and losing weight, and also for addiction. Even though these are for specific behaviors, take any one of them and you can apply it to almost any behavior you want. There's a lot of mileage you can get out of it. I'll see you soon. We're all out of time. Okay? Happy New Year. Bye.